Kier Starmer has got to go now. He's got to go. I've had enough of this guy. Seriously. Kier Starmer, leader of the Labour Party, he has to go. I gave him the benefit of the doubt at the start, but after this recent interview, after the shocking election results across the country, the guy is just proving that he's just completely incompetent.
Kier Starmer, the red wall, it's still crumbling. What do you do now?
Well, I'm bitterly disappointed in the results, and, you know, I take full responsibility for the results, and I will take full responsibility for fixing things.
Who talks like that? Who talks like that? I am bitterly disappointed in the results, and I will take full responsibility for my actions. Who talks like that? He is like he's like a robot where someone's programmed some sort of AI algorithm into a robot of what a politician should be and outspurts that rubbish. We see through it, Kier. That is a person that 2 minutes earlier were in the room next door in front of a mirror going, I am bitterly disappointed in the results and I blame myself. It's nonsense.
We have changed as a party, but we haven't set out a strong enough case to the country. Very often we've been talking to ourselves instead of to the country. And we.
Oh, that's the problem, Kier. Of course, that's the problem. Angela, Rachel, I found out the problem. I know what's wrong. We've been talking to ourselves, haven't we? We haven't been talking to the people. We've just been talking to ourselves.
Made a strong enough case to the country. We've lost that connection, that trust, and I intend to rebuild that and do whatever is necessary to rebuild that trust.
But what does change mean in, say, policy terms?
It means stopping as a party, quarrelling amongst ourselves, looking internally and facing the country and setting out that bold vision for a better Britain and changing the things that need changing.
What is that vision?
What are you talking about, Kier? What are you talking about? Do you do this at home with the missus? Kier, darling, what do you want for dinner? Well, I think we need a bold new vision to answer this question. We need the trust and to get the trust back of our people. Darling, I just want to know if you want peas or carrots with your mash. I think that this is a fundamental question. We need to look inwards instead of outwards and ask ourselves questions. Oh, bloody hell, just... What do you want for dinner?
We have not done that.
So you're going to set out a new policy agenda, is that what you're saying?
I am going to set out a strong case to the country, learn the lessons of the elections that have come in so far, and accept that we must reconnect and rebuild trust with working people, particularly in places like Hartlepool.
Can you give us any indication of what it is you're going to be
Well, I'm not going to
about?
set out a policy agenda in this interview, but I'm going to...
Oh, God forbid, Kier, that you give us some policies on a live platform. Number one reason why people didn't vote Labour in this election. They weren't clear on what your policies are, what you're about, what your vision is. So, God forbid you use this chance to actually tell us what your policies are. I mean, it's obvious why he doesn't want to do it, because he needs to go back to his little group and say, right, what do people need to hear? What policies do we need? How about you just talk about what you believe in? Okay, what do you stand for? What do you believe in? What do you want to see the country be like?
And I will set out what change is needed over the next few days, but I'm absolutely clear in my mind and absolutely determined to do whatever is necessary to fix things and to make sure we can make that case to the country in a compelling way.
What are you going to change over the next few days? What are you referring to?
I will set out what we need to do to reconnect the Labour Party to the voters that have cast their verdict on us last night, particularly in places like Hartlepool. We have changed as a party. We have changed as a party, but we need to go further and we need to set out that strong case to the country, and we have not done that.
Do you notice he does this like weird thing with his hands, where he puts his hands together in like a grovelling motion, like please, please sir, vote me Prime Minister, please. Like someone's told him to do that. You know, they love getting politicians to do things with their hands to emphasise their points. Made famous with Tony Blair in the 90s, where he'd be at conference and get on stage and take his jacket off, throw it over his shoulder, roll his sleeves up to show that, you know, he's a common man and you can trust what he's saying. The only problem is that this ain't the 90s anymore, and people see through this bullshit. they see through it, and that's why people like Nigel Farage have done so well at putting their message across to the working class, to the normal people. Love him or hate him, and you all know that I absolutely despise the man and can't stand a single word that comes out of his mouth, but you can't say that the guy's not genuine about what he believes. He believes in this anti-European crap, so he's not in a back room before every interview, rehearsing what he's saying, thinking, oh, should I say that? I'll come across as this if I say this. Or no, he just goes in front of the camera, and because he believes in what he's saying, he'll just answer any question that's given to him straight. Same thing with Jeremy Corbyn. You know, you either love the guy or you hate him, but at least we actually knew what he was about and what he stood for. And, you know, I generally believe that the guy had the best interests of the country at heart. Whether you like the way that he was going about it, you know, I completely understand how people might have been a little bit worried about overspending and ended up bankrupting the country with free broadband to everyone here. They're genuine concerns that I completely understand. But you can't deny that we knew what the guy was about, and he had a clear message of what he wanted to do. My main problem with Jeremy Corbyn was the people that surrounded him, really, that made him come off worse. People like Diane Abbott, the communist loving, Mao loving. I mean, when you go on public TV and say that Chairman Mao done a few good things, you're committing political suicide. What are you doing, woman? The guy killed millions of people. You know, when you surround yourself with people like her, you're not going to do well, and that's just rubbed off on the Labour Party completely. You know, all this sort of stuff is just not good for the image, and I can't believe that the Labour Party are so stupid not to know this. I mean, they can't be. Come on, they're intelligent people. They must know why they're not winning elections, because they don't appeal to the working class, and the working class just see them as a bunch of middle class liberals that don't relate to them. So what do they do in response to that? They put a London lawyer with a knighthood in charge of the party. I mean, my only guess is that maybe they don't want the working class vote anymore. Maybe they want to try and win an election with votes from London, Bristol, Manchester. I don't know, because they must see it. They must see it. It's crazy, but this, you know, Labour, they're never going to win an election. They're in absolute turmoil with this guy in charge. I don't know what they can do. I mean, if they're not going to break away and split up into a separate party, they've got to absolutely demolish the whole Labour Party from ground to bottom. They need to completely change absolutely everything and start appealing to the working class. Maybe get that Manchester mayor, Andy Burnham. You know, he seems like he's got a clear message, and he understands what he's about and what he wants. Get someone like that in charge and stifle the views of some of these London Labour MPs that are just ruining the image of Labour. But I don't know, in my eyes, I can't see how they can be rescued. I really don't. I don't know. As always, comment below, guys. Give me your thoughts.